So if you ever had shoulder surgery, you already know the hardest part isn't the sling or the exercises, it's sleep. Most people spend weeks camped out in the recliner or buried under a pile of pillows. Those pillows slide everywhere, don't stay in place, waking up every hour in pain. I've been telling people the same thing for years. Do the best you can. There's not a great solution until now. I came across something called the Restore You Therapeutic Support. It is big, but I've tried it myself. And even though I haven't had a recent shoulder surgery, I was surprised of how comfortable it actually was. I'm Dr. Dan Orcutt. I've been helping more than 1,000 people recover from shoulder surgery and shoulder recovery for the last 20 years or so. And what I do here is give you a straightforward surgeon-backed advice so recovery actually makes sense. Now, before I go any further, quick disclosure, from time to time I do talk about products here on this channel, and when I do, it's only because I think they're genuinely worth considering. If you decide to try this, you can use my code ORCUT10 for 10% off, and yes, I will receive a small affiliate commission. So if you're already thinking this might be the answer that you've been looking for, check the link below and you'll see the link to the store. But here's why this matters. Poor sleep is the single biggest recovery killer after shoulder surgery. It slows down healing and it amplifies pain. Also, it drains your energy and patience. This makes every part of recovery a little harder. I've heard people say the worst part of the whole process wasn't surgery, wasn't therapy, it was the nights. They dreaded going to bed because they knew it meant hours of frustration and almost no rest. And honestly, for years, the best advice I had was buy a recliner or a wedge pillow, stack up more pillows, and just try to make it work. Not a great solution, but it was all we had. So some of you know I reviewed the Linux wedge system before, and I'll say it does work. It can keep you propped up and supported. But what I'm about to show you is something really different. The Restore You isn't just another wedge. It was engineered specifically for shoulder surgery recovery. And that changes the equation. And while we're here, if you are preparing for surgery, you know, or you should know, I put together a free pre-op shoulder checklist. It's a simple guide to help you get ready and avoid the common mistakes that people make in recovery, which makes recovery harder. The link is below if you want it. So this is something different, and that's why it caught my eye. It's called the Restore You Therapedic Support, and it's the only FDA-registered patented recovery device just for shoulder surgery. Instead of fighting with sliding pillows, it actually holds you in the right position, kind of cradles you in the right position all night so you're not stressing your shoulder. And it's comfortable. People describe it as feeling almost like floating on a raft in a pool. And the results are impressive, really, truly impressive. Patients report 96% success rate with 6 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep starting the very first night. Now, they're about ready to go into a true clinical trial to confirm this. But I was curious enough that I reached out to the founder, Scott. I said, after talking with him, it was clear this wasn't some random pillow. It was built specifically to solve the sleep problem every shoulder surgery patient faces. It's big. When I tried it myself, I understood why people like it. It kept me supported in an exact position I'd want in recovery. And as a bonus, my wife was thrilled actually because it even cut down on my snoring. Now, the patients' stories are pretty incredible around the support. And they're, to me, kind of hard to ignore since I've experienced it myself. One patient described finally getting their first full night of sleep in 10 weeks. Another said the pain and range of motion improved dramatically in just 5 days, simply because they were able to rest. Others have even called it the single best medical investment they've ever made. That's strong feedback, and it matches what I've seen over the years. When people can sleep, get their rest, everything else in recovery improves. So, however, now to be fair, this is a review. It is not a commercial or an infomercial. Again, it's bulky. There's no getting around it. It takes up space in the bed. And it's not as simple as grabbing a pillow off the couch. But that's the trade-off. Pillows slide around. Recliners only go so far. This stays put. And that's exactly why it works. So let's wrap this up. All right. So here's the bottom line. Sleep has always been the unsolved problem after shoulder surgery. For decades, the best options were a recliner or a pile of pillows. But for the first time in 60 years, there's actually a product that was actually engineered to solve that specific problem. And it works. If you've been through this, I'd love to hear your thoughts, your experience. I know it's miserable. Drop a comment below. What worked for you and what didn't? And if this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button. Every week I break down shoulder recovery so you can heal smarter without the confusion. And if you're ready to finally get a good night's sleep, check out Restore You Therapedic Support. Use the link below. Use the code ORCUT10 to get 10% off. Again, I do receive a small commission, but I'd recommend this either way. Because when you sleep better, you recover better.